Allow me to introduce myself.
I am the last sane sports fan.
I am a genius by trade.
I just knew too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Possibly.
Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to The View from the Midwest. I know that I promised you some NHL talk yesterday, but as is apt to happen in the sports world, things change. Basically, the idea that I was going to go with today is that the second round of the NHL playoffs had been fairly boring, and then last night we get two of the best games that we've seen all playoffs, in which the Tampa Bay Lightning won literally in the last second, which is really, I believe, the second time that that's happened in this playoff run, not just not with Tampa Bay specifically, but just in these NHL playoffs. Normally you don't get buzzer beaters in hockey. So that was a really good game, and then Washington ended up hanging on in a nail-biter, very close game against the New York Rangers to go up 3-1 in that series. So even though those series are still kind of boring in terms of the stat lines, in terms of games for and against, really that kind of squashed my argument just a little bit. So we're going to cover something else. Obviously, the huge news of the day yesterday was the Wells report came out. The NFL released all the information on that, and basically it sort of kind of was much ado about nothing. Basically, all that came out was they said that it is more likely than not that the New England Patriots messed with the footballs, and that Tom Brady probably knew something about it. Well, basically, if you believed that the allegations were true to begin with, you knew that was true to start. It's a situation where basically the NFL kind of chickened out. They had enough evidence to know that, as they said, something had to have happened, but they don't necessarily have that smoking gun. They couldn't find the person that was just going to come out and basically just give them all the dirty little secrets on the backroom workings of the NFL's New England Patriots. But they had enough information from various sources, from unnamed sources, I'm sure, from all those kind of backdoor channels, to basically say that the New England Patriots were guilty of something. So ultimately, it's kind of one of those situations where it hasn't changed my view on anything. If anything, it's only strengthened my view that I did back when the incident first came out, which is this: I don't like the New England Patriots. I think they're cheaters. I think that they've helped themselves win Super Bowls through nefarious means. And basically, I don't like the team. But that's just my personal feeling on the matter. I don't like Tom Brady. I think he's somewhat of a fake person. I think he puts out this kind of, I'm a wonderful person kind of persona, and I don't necessarily believe that's who he is. I think Bill Belichick is an ass, and I apologize for the language if that goes against anything that you believe in, or just the kind of language that you approve of. But basically, I think that's what he is. He's one of those people that I honestly think if you get to know him and you're friends with him, that he's probably a pretty decent guy. But in terms of the stuff that we see projected towards the media, just seeing him on the sideline, his demeanor and everything, I just don't like him. But from a neutral's perspective, basically this really changes nothing in terms of the grand scheme of things, even in my tainted view of them. They've basically won 3 Super Bowls now, to where it happened in a manner to where the means that they won were questioned. They were going to win at least 2 of those anyway. They beat Seattle because Seattle beat themselves. But they got to the Super Bowl because they beat the Indianapolis Colts. Well, regardless of whether the balls were deflated or not, the way the Colts came out and did absolutely nothing, and they were just drubbed by the Patriots were going to win anyway. And in the second half, when the balls were inflated, Tom Brady actually had better passing statistics than he did in the first half when the supposed deflated balls were used. In the Super Bowl where they defeated the Carolina Panthers, the New England Patriots were going to win that game anyway. The only questionable Super Bowl for me, and perhaps this does go back to personal bias, maybe not, is the St. Louis Super Bowl, back when they won their very first Super Bowl. I still believe that taping those practices might have given them enough of an advantage, especially going down the stretch when they knew what St. Louis might have been running in a 2-minute huddle or something, because those are basically the things you're going to discuss in a walkthrough, and that's what mainly was recorded. So it's a situation where that game was so close, so tight, coming down to the wire, that I do believe that cheating in that aspect did help them win that Super Bowl. All their other championships are basically because they were simply just the better team. Whether you love them, whether you hate them, unfortunately they are a great team. And Tom Brady is one of the best quarterbacks of all time. He may eventually go down as the best quarterback of all time. And obviously that's subjective based on when you grew up, who you grew up watching, just your personal feelings on the matter. I don't necessarily think that he's better than Peyton Manning, but he has a lot more Super Bowl rings than he does. So that argument can be made. But Tom Brady is in the top 5 in most important statistical categories. The guy has passed for over 3,000 yards in every single season except for 2000 when he was a backup, 2001 when he started the year as a backup until his counterpart got hurt in Drew Bledsoe, and then 2008 when he got injured. Every other year he's passed for over 3,000 yards with plenty of yards well into the 4,000s and even 5,000s. He's number 5 in all-time touchdowns. He's number 5 in all-time passing yardage. There's only so much that deflating the balls is actually going to do before you have to sit there and say, well, the guy has to have a certain amount of talent to get his numbers up that high. He's never had a great receiving core. He's had pretty good receivers, steady receivers, receivers who are going to be not injured all the time, and that's basically helped him. And Bill Belichick, except for his time in Cleveland, has a stellar record in the NFL. He's been in the league for 20 years as a head coach, and he's got a record, if I can pull this up here, he's got an overall record of 211 wins, 109 losses, no ties. If you take out the years that he was with Cleveland, 5 years where he was under 500, he went 36-44. He's 175-65 with the New England Patriots. And even with the Cleveland Browns, he managed to have a real good year. In 1994, 1 full year before the season that they played under the shadow where they were going to move, he got that team to finish 11-5. So, I mean, Bill Belichick, whether you love him or hate him, and my personal feelings are on the negative side towards the man, he's a great coach. The guy finds a way to win. So it begs the question of why do they do these things in the first place? If their team is so great to begin with, what prompts you to take that extra step to say, we need that extra advantage? We are much better than our opponent 9 times out of 10, but we still feel the need to go out there and do something that breaks the rules. I don't personally understand it, because all they've done is tarnish their own legacy. They, whether it's Bill Belichick or Tom Brady, are 2 of the greatest at what they do. They will go down in history, just looking at their body of work, as probably the greatest quarterback coach tandem of all time. So why cheat in the first place? It's been in ways that have just, it hasn't given them any clear-cut distinct advantage. So why do it in the first place? What is your view on the matter? That's the view from the Midwest. Basically, I don't understand it. I don't think I ever will. I don't like these people as individuals, but I don't think it necessarily takes away from the great things that they have done, because unfortunately they are great. We're sick, the people that don't like them are sick of them winning, but I don't necessarily think that they wouldn't have won if they hadn't done these things. That's the sad thing. So it begs the question, why did they cheat in the first place? Because it really didn't aid them in any gigantic manner. So that's the view from the Midwest. What's your view on the thing? Comment, rate, and subscribe. Leave us a thumbs up down there on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, share it around with your friends. Until the next time, I will see you then.
I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo in so much space.